Yo, what it do is just Kid Tay. Here to talk about a common misconception that a lot of new and, very vetted and experienced gun owners fall victim to. Believing the common YouTube video about guns, the common gun tuber, and their advice that they solicit to us. Okay, starting with dry firing. I don't care what brand it is, man, what model it is. Always dry fire with snap caps. As you see, I've been using these a lot. I didn't use that one so much. It's silver. So that should let you know I really do dry fire practice. But before, I didn't really know that. I mean, you can break your gun just by dry firing. I really didn't know. I broke this one from dry firing. I was in here. It was actually after one of the videos I uploaded, I think it was the one on the grips. I'm in here dry firing without those snap caps. Man, I heard a clink clunk. The dang striker. This part of the striker had them just sheared off. Weirdly, on Glocks, the actual firing pin head breaks whenever their firing pins break. Yes, that's a common thing with like the Glock design, because I've been seeing it on the PSA daggers. So I know now with the dagger, whenever I finish that build, buy a couple strikers. Even I'm gonna buy some OEM Glock ones, and I'm gonna just buy the cheaper PSA manufacturer ones. But with dry firing, a common misconception is that I'm gonna just speak on the Glocks, that you can dry fire a Glock constantly without these snap caps. Do not do that. You will break your gun eventually. The tolerances on these guns is precise. It's what the manufacturer says. They even say I don't even read the dang owner's manual, but that's something I think a lot of people really do need to start reading. For cleaning, maintenance, inspections, and especially dry firing. Because a lot of people have the misconception that, oh man, I could just dry fire all day and nothing is going to happen. That's why they make new technologies that enables people to put in special magazines. And most of the times, if it's a very sophisticated design, they don't use the strikers. It's some weird thing like the Mantis. It's something with the magazine. It does its own little unique thing. It's patented. So we're going to start there. Dry firing. Worst misconception that gun tubers are telling people is that you don't have to use snap caps to dry fire, which you do, like religiously. Use snap caps. Next, another common lie told by the common gun tuber is that I'm not gonna say it's a lie, but I'm just gonna say shout out to Sleep So BK Fly. He didn't know that if you constantly rechamber a bullet, there was this thing called bullet setback. Now I have 3 totally different brands, types of bullets to show you. If you're not rechambering that round correctly, if you constantly rechamber a round, meaning the mag is full, this round is already in the chamber, you drop your mag, you clear the chamber. You know, you dry fire your gun with your snap caps or whatever you're doing, you're cleaning it, whatever it may be. My brother, Sleep So BK Fly, didn't know that bullet setback was a very common thing in all makes and models and brands. So I think he was trying out these. These are the exact same ones. Hornady Critical Defense. Critical Duty, you know, it can be any brand. Like, this is a complete FMJ, but it looks like the 10 mil and the 40 because it got the flat nose. That's the polymer tip, you know, internal one. He didn't know if he constantly puts this bullet in first every time, you only got so many chances depending on how you actually load your gun. He had those, I guess, in his G26. He was at the range. He was testing out these in the Taurus G3C. He went to load it. What did it do? It pushed the casing in. And honestly, the casing more than likely was already pushed in a slight bit. It only takes a little bit to really push that casing in. And if you're not trained to the naked eye, you can't really differentiate. He went to load it in the G3C at the range. It did this. What a lot of people don't know about Glocks, they have unsupported chambers, meaning they can feed the most variety of bullets. That's what make it what it is. That's what make it not prone to jamming as frequent as any other brand. That's why you gotta love it, because I mean, dang, it doesn't really jam that much. So when he went to put it in his Glock, it fed. But that's not a good thing, because a bullet like this, the pressure now is built up different. Everything is made to a spec and a tolerance. Everything. I don't care what it is. So as you see, these are just some blazers. As you see, look how much that bullet is outside that bullet. Same goes for this one. Look how taller that bullet is compared to the Hornady Critical Defense. If you constantly and properly, because there is actually a right way to chamber your gun, you know, and even I do it incorrectly sometimes, a lot of times, honestly. With these, it's been months, honestly. Like, those are like probably about a year old bullets that, you know, were the last times that actually happened with bullet setback. Whenever you chamber your gun, don't just drop the slide, because when you're doing that, as you see, the gun has a little more tolerance after the slide is actually locked to be able to be pulled back and release the slide stop. So whenever you're just constantly dropping that slide, especially on a round that's been rechambered 50 times, that's where you get bullet setback, casing setback. And this can actually cause your gun to honestly blow up. That's why a lot of Glocks weirdly blow up, because they have those unsupported chambers. It's a gift and a curse with that brand, because if the chamber isn't supported and you have a hot load, you go to shoot that gun, guess where all the energy is being released to? I don't have a Glock to show you guys, but it's virtually supported 100%. On Glocks, the bottom of the actual round is more exposed. It has more room in a Glock. You can hear it more clink around if you do this. Now this has room also. All guns, you have to have tolerances. But on a Glock, the bottom right here is more exposed. Also, the feed ramp is shorter. It's dang near half the size of this, honestly. So if you have a bullet that's been set back, the pressure in this round, it's not to spec pretty much. When this bullet goes off, the pressure is built up so much back here because the bullet now is, again, look at the height of the bullet. Look at the height. Yeah, it's a couple millimeters. You don't think that is that serious, but a real gun guy would tell you that's very serious. You don't do that. You don't shoot that because it's a likely chance that you will technically blow up the barrel and the grip of the gun. The magazine, what it's supposed to be, it's supposed to, the design is supposed to shoot the magazine out. Everything's supposed to blow out the bottom. Unfortunately for Glocks, they have the unsupported chamber, which leads to the actual barrel blowing up here. So now if that blows up, if it's unsupported, and what's another brand that's been doing? I think Sig Sauers, they've been doing it too. That's another reason I don't really rock with Sig Sauer, honestly, because they have a lot of flaws. I don't care because the military uses it. I don't really care. With the unsupported chamber, it's supposed to just shoot out the bottom of the mag. It's supposed to pretty much save the gun. So none of this is supposed to be obstructed as much. It may bulge out a little bit, but theoretically, the bullet is supposed to fire, or you may get a squib blow. Who knows? I never experienced it, but the bullet is supposed to fire. The case is gonna bulge out, as all Glock cases do. That's why they say you can't really reload Glock cases, because they create some type of weird little marking where it's unsupported and it bulges. If you know, you know. You know, these not, assumptions, or, I'm not trying to, make somebody not buy a brand, but I have a clear case. I have two. If you have a Glock, look at your cases whenever you shoot. They will have bulges at the bottom, wherever, the bullet actually sits inside the barrel. The bottom of the case, where the feed ramp is, it will have a big bulge. Sometimes it might not be that big, but it's visibly and physically able to be seen. As you see, completely round cases, able to be reloaded. Completely round cases, able to be reloaded. That's why they say you can't really shoot reloads out of Glocks. So that's another misconception when it comes to constantly rechambering ammo, whether it's a FMJ, a hollow point, a flat nose. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter the brand, the ammo. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the gun. Whenever you're constantly rechambering around, always make sure you're doing it correctly. If the slide is already locked back, you insert your mag, you pull. Let me get a snap cap. Like I say, even with dry fire, I don't like to not have a snap cap in it. So instead of you hitting the slide release, which I have a much more tendency to do it with this, because it's more so made like that. Honestly, this slide release, it's not that stiff. All right, let me see if I can manipulate it to drop. That's the most common problem with the GX4. This is the most common flaw on the GX4 slide stop. If it's not pushed up completely, it will pretty much release the slide. But with these, you have to really you have to drop that slide stop, but that's not good. When you're chambering around, always lock the slide back, put the mag in, which all gun manufacturers really tell you not to load the mag completely, leave one empty. You load the gun, and then you put the extra round in there. If you read your owner's manual, you guys will see a lot of these things. Again, it's a snap cap. You guys will see a lot of these things that I'm talking about. Third misconception, and why you shouldn't take advice from the common gun tuber. You have to go out and do your own research. You have to go out and, unfortunately, either rent, borrow, or buy firearms to actually get your own understanding. What works for me, what works for a citizen to a citizen, what works for GHG Hustle, what works for Coleon Nior, Hitchcock 45, Tactical Consideration, Eyes and Ears, Sleep So BK Fly, it's not technically compatible. We all have different size hands, different body types. We live in different regions. We all have different occupations. So there is no end all be all. You have to go out and do your own research. You have to get your own experience. Don't try to live through the TV and just say, well, Spin Firearms said the G26 is the best gun. Let me just go get a G26. And then you realize, well, dang, it only has the flat base plates from the factory. Yeah, I can work it. It functions, but it's only 10 rounds. Factory magazine for the Taurus is 12 rounds. What do you think is a better feel in my hand? Even with this one, like, it has also factory flat base plate for the flush 11 round magazine. This is the 13 round magazine. Which one do you think I carry more? It's not all about concealing and, you want to be able to hide your gun the most. And hey, man, this the South where I live at. People walk around, they got open carry in certain states. People walk around with stuff like this in their guns. You feel me? So all that micro, hide the gun. I mean, man, in certain places down here, you don't even technically gotta hide your gun. You don't have to conceal it. So honestly, man, why you shouldn't trust the common gun tube or take advice is you're not them and they're not you. Go out and get your own experience. Don't just listen to me. Don't listen to nobody. Listen to yourself. Listen to your own, your own experience when you go and shoot the guns. Like, you might have one of these and you're shooting it with the flat base plate. At the end of the day, let me see. At the end of the day, you more than likely will need a finger extension. It just makes sense. For comfortability, for accuracy, for shootability, for being able to grab out your holster. You need that extra hang time. Taurus could have did it with this. This doesn't add any magazine capacity. Theoretically, the magazine stops here. So it's also a design enhancement and also a comfortability enhancement. You know, they could have just put the flat base plate, but then it would have awkwardly, it's not, the proportions isn't adding up. So what do? Factory, we're going to put that pinky extension from the factory. As you see, that doesn't add any magazine capacity. It's just 12 rounds. That's just what it is. This adds magazine capacity plus 2. It's 11 rounds. And it also adds comfortability for holstering, reholstering, shooting, accuracy. You know? So always go out, man, and get your own experience. Do not listen to the average gun tuber. I say don't listen to none of us. Go out, do your own homework. Shoot the guns for yourself. And just live through your own experiences. Don't live through the TV. If I lived through the TV, I would have bought 1,000 guns by now. Wasted thousands of dollars. And probably still ended up right back here. These are my 2 EDCs right here. I got plenty of other guns, had plenty of other guns. Some of them very similar to this or a different variation of. I'm building 2 other guns, the Rock 5.7 and the PSA Dagger. That's why I haven't rushed into building those, because I'm just not really, I'm still learning from other people, but I'm not going off their experiences saying, okay, that's how I want to do it. Whenever I do finish those builds, I'm still going to have to put some time and money into those experiences. Everything is different, Some people run the 30 rounds on the Rock 5.7. The 23 rounds, so it's a +7. Some people don't run the +7 on the Rock 5.7. It's all individual preferences. Some people they use the Magpul magazines. Some just stick with the Glock magazines. And me, I'm gonna buy Magpul magazines because, as far as I'm concerned, this is a pro mag. This something that people say, oh man, it's gonna jam. Oh man, it's a range toy. You run your ass up in here. Yeah, it might got some FMJs in there, because I ain't got time to be putting 50 hollows. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time for all that. I ain't trying to waste no money on you. No, I don't think most people really work hollows anyway. But but yeah, man, whatever. If it work, it work. I don't listen to people and they say, oh, this, oh, that, man. Like I say, most people are guys with guns. They're not gun guys, man. Hit the like, share, subscribe button. Post bell notification. We're going up all 2024 just to kill.